Welcome to 20 at Twilight, a weekly video post that provides a 20-minute guided meditation, a way of praying with scripture, designed to provide a reflective and restful close to the day, focusing on and resting in the presence of God. I am Tracy Leslie, certified spiritual director and senior pastor at Trinity United Methodist Church in downtown Lafayette. Jesus said, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." Hear these words by St. Gregory the theologian. "We bless you now, O my Christ, Word of God, light of light without beginning, bestower of the Spirit. We bless you, threefold light of undivided glory, light and life in Jesus Christ." I want to invite you to take a moment to breathe deeply and release some of the day's tensions. Sit back so your back is against the chair and your feet flat on the floor. You might want to gently tilt your neck from side to side for just a gentle stretch, nothing strenuous. Tune into your body and any places of tension. Notice if your jaw is tight. If it is, you might want to just wiggle it a bit from side to side. Give your shoulders a nice shrug. Take some deep breaths. In through your mouth and out through, in through your nose and out through your mouth. In Hebrew, Greek, and Arabic, the same word can be translated wind, breath, or spirit. So as you breathe deeply in, imagine that the breath of God is pouring into you. As you release the breath, imagine that God's Spirit is cleansing you of anything that is burdening you. That even as the breath of God pours into you to inspire new life, the wind of God's Spirit on the exhale is blowing away the chaff like dust in the wind. It is the rhythm of life. I'd invite you to silently count backwards from 10 on each inhale and exhale. Again, breathing in on 10 and exhaling on 10. Breathing in on 9 and exhaling on 9. And so on as you continue counting backwards. This evening's scripture verses come from the book of Exodus. Exodus begins by informing us about the conditions under which the Hebrews were living in Egypt. They are suffering and oppressed. They are slaves, forced labor. Genocide is even being committed. The Pharaoh has informed the midwives to kill all of the Hebrew boys at birth. But a boy named Moses is saved, plucked from the Nile River by the Pharaoh's daughter, who decides to take him as her own child. But as he grows, Moses knows that he is different. He knows he is a Hebrew. And one day when he sees an Egyptian beating one of the Hebrew workers, Moses kills the Egyptian. Word of this spreads, and Moses must flee Egypt, or the Pharaoh will have him put to death. So Moses flees to Midian. He marries and has a child, but nothing has changed for the Hebrews back in Egypt. They are still enslaved, still being beaten, still being killed. And so many of us know what happens next. Moses is out one day tending his flock in the wilderness when God calls to him from a burning bush and tells him that he must go back to Egypt and deliver God's people. But just before chapter 3 and the story of the burning bush and the call of Moses, the scene is set with these important words that will be our focus this evening. So chapter 2, starting at verse 23. After a long time, the king of Egypt died. The Israelites groaned under their slavery and cried out. Out of the slavery, their cry for help rose up to God. God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God saw the Israelites, and God knew them. This is a passage of scripture in which God is anthropomorphized. There's a big word, right? The word anthropomorphize is two Greek words, compound word, put together, anthropos, meaning human, and morphe, meaning form. So when we anthropomorphize God, we give human attributes or form to God, human characteristics. So although we know that God doesn't have our human organs of eyes and ears, we say that God sees and hears. We do that because we know that our human senses of hearing and seeing are how we receive or input information about the world around us, which evokes certain feelings. We see something bad happen, and we feel sad or angry or frustrated. We hear something bad, and it causes us to feel sad or angry or frustrated. What we take in through our senses, through those organs like our eyes and ears, evokes feelings which lead to particular responses. So for this evening's meditation, I want to invite you to think of things you have heard and seen over the past week that bring you joy, as well as those that bring you sorrow, particularly in relation to those you love, or at least are very fond of, because that's another piece of this, right? This scripture affirms that it is God's knowledge of us, God's remembrance of us, God's recognition of us that makes God continually aware of us and attentive to us. So I would invite you first to think of something you heard this past week in relation to someone you care about that brought you great joy. Take a moment to talk to God about what it was you heard and why it made you joyful. Talk to God about that experience and celebrate what you heard with God. Give thanks to God for what you heard. Next, think of something you heard this past week in relation to someone you care about that made you sad, that caused you sorrow, or perhaps made you angry and feel frustrated. Take a moment now to talk to God about what it was you heard and why it made you sad or angry or frustrated. Talk to God about that experience. Mourn that which you heard with God. Ask God for mercy and for healing and for peace in relation to what you heard. Now think of something you saw this past week in relation, again, to someone you care about that brought you great joy. Take a moment to talk to God about what it was you saw and why that made you joyful. Talk to God about that experience and celebrate what you saw with God. Give thanks to God for what you saw. Finally, Reflect on something you saw this past week in relation to someone you care about that made you sad or angry or frustrated. Take a moment to talk to God about what it was you saw and why it made you feel sad or angry or frustrated. Talk to God about that experience. Mourn or process what you saw with God. Ask God for mercy and healing and peace in relation to what you saw. Almighty and merciful God, in you we live and move and have our being. Do not forsake us this night, O God. Hear this portion of a prayer by W. Paul Jones. Let not the darkness descend, O God, on the hurts I have inflicted this day. The good I would do is not always what I have done, and the harm from which I pledge to refrain is what I have done. God, forgive me, that tomorrow I may make amends as I can. Let not the darkness descend on the hurts that have been inflicted on me this day. May I not take them personally, but hold the belief that they knew not what they were doing. God, forgive them and me, that tomorrow I may heal what I can in these relationships. And now, at this time of sleep, may I rest with you, O Christ. Quiet me with the realization that it is you, not I, who are God. May it be in tranquility that I relinquish my hold on things, that in joy I may let the world turn without me this night. Fill this night with your radiance, as into your hands, O Lord, I commend my spirit. Be near to those who work, or watch, or weep this night, and give your angels charge over those who sleep. Tend the sick, Lord Christ. Give rest to the weary. Bless the dying. Soothe the suffering. Pity the afflicted. Shield the joyous. And all for your love's sake. Amen. Friends, may you rest this night in the presence of the God who made you, loves you, and sustains you. Amen.